The space race, a defining saga of the 20th century, began not with a dramatic launch or a countdown, but with a quiet, pivotal moment at the end of World War II. As the war ended, both the United States and the Soviet Union raced to seize the secrets of German rocket technology, recognizing its potential to shape the future of warfare and perhaps something even greater. The V-2 rocket, once a terrifying weapon of destruction raining down on European cities, unexpectedly became the blueprint for humanity's first steps beyond Earth. Both superpowers scrambled to recruit the brilliant minds behind these rockets, including the visionary Wernher von Braun and his team of engineers, whose expertise would prove invaluable. Through Operation Paperclip, von Braun and many of his colleagues were brought to America, where they would lay the groundwork for the U.S. space program. Meanwhile, the Soviets captured their own share of German scientists and hardware, determined not to fall behind. This marked the dawn of a new kind of rivalry, one where ideology, technology, and national pride collided on a global stage. The world watched as two superpowers transformed wartime innovation into a peacetime contest for supremacy. The Cold War's front line now stretched far above the Earth, with each side desperate to prove that their political system could achieve the impossible. Space became the ultimate arena for global prestige, a place to flex scientific and military muscle, to inspire citizens and to intimidate rivals, all without direct conflict. Two superpowers, both armed with the same technological foundation but driven by different dreams, now stood ready at the starting line of a new era. The race for the stars would begin not with a manned mission, but with a simple, beeping satellite, Sputnik, heralding the dawn of the space age. On October 4, 1957, the world changed forever. The Soviet Union stunned the globe by launching Sputnik 1, a shiny metal sphere about the size of a beach ball, bristling with 4 long antennas. It was the first artificial satellite ever sent into orbit, and it marked the dawn of the space age. As Sputnik circled the planet, it emitted a simple, rhythmic beep that could be picked up by radios around the world. That steady signal, echoing through the night sky, was more than just a technical achievement, it was a message to all of humanity. News of Sputnik's launch spread like wildfire. Newspapers printed bold headlines and families huddled around radios and televisions, listening in awe and disbelief. The beep was a symbol. The Soviets had taken the lead in the space race, and the world was listening. In the United States, the reaction was immediate and intense. Americans gazed up at the night sky, searching for the tiny moving dot that was Sputnik, feeling a mix of wonder, fear, and anxiety. For the first time, something built by humans, and by a rival superpower, was flying overhead. The psychological impact was profound. If the Soviets could launch a satellite into space, what else might they be capable of? The sense of vulnerability was new and unsettling, sparking debates in living rooms and government offices alike. The U.S. government scrambled to respond. Urgency swept through Washington and leaders poured unprecedented funding into science, technology, and education. In 1958, the United States established NASA, a new agency dedicated to space exploration and technological innovation. The National Defense Education Act was passed, funneling billions of dollars into schools and universities. The goal? To train a new generation of scientists, engineers, and mathematicians who could help America catch up, and eventually surpass, the Soviet Union. Meanwhile, the Soviets pressed their advantage. Just a month later, they launched Sputnik 2, carrying Laika, the first living creature to orbit Earth. The world watched in fascination and concern as the space race accelerated. America's first attempt to launch a satellite, Vanguard TV-3, ended in a fiery explosion on the launch pad, broadcast live to a stunned nation. The setback was humiliating, and the pressure to succeed grew even greater. Headlines declared that the U.S. was falling behind, and government officials faced mounting criticism. The race for space supremacy was now a matter of national pride and global influence. Around the world, people watched and listened, captivated by the unfolding drama. The space race had truly begun, and every nation was paying attention to each new development. The next move in this high-stakes game would not only shape the future of space exploration, but also the destiny of nations on Earth. The Soviets struck again in 1961, sending Yuri Gagarin into orbit, the first human to circle the Earth. Gagarin's flight was a triumph, his words, "The Earth is blue," echoing around the globe. The U.S. felt the sting of defeat and rushed to catch up. Alan Shepard became the first American in space, but his flight was a brief suborbital hop. It wasn't until John Glenn orbited the Earth in 1962 that the US matched the Soviet achievement. Glenn's flight restored American pride and proved the US could compete. But matching the Soviets wasn't enough. America needed a bigger goal. The world's eyes were on the next frontier. The question was no longer who could reach space, but who could conquer it. The answer would come from the highest office in the land. President Kennedy knew the US needed a bold new objective, something that would inspire the nation and demonstrate American ingenuity and determination. In 1961, he challenged America to land a man on the moon and return him safely by the end of the decade. This ambitious goal was not just about space exploration, it was about proving that the United States could achieve the seemingly impossible. At the time, the US had barely begun human spaceflight. This was a leap into the unknown. The Mercury program had only just started sending astronauts into space, and the challenges ahead were immense. Kennedy's vision galvanized the nation, shifting the space race from orbits to the lunar surface. The American public, captivated by the idea of space travel, rallied behind this daring mission. His famous words at Rice University, "We choose to go to the moon, not because they are easy, but because they are hard," captured the spirit of the era. These words resonated deeply, symbolizing the courage and ambition of a nation ready to push the boundaries of human achievement. NASA launched the Gemini program to master the skills needed for a lunar mission: docking, spacewalking, and long-duration flight. Each mission brought new lessons and advancements, building the foundation for the Apollo program. Gemini was the training ground, preparing astronauts for the ultimate challenge. The program was crucial in developing the techniques and confidence required for a successful lunar landing. The moon became the new finish line. It represented not just a physical destination, but a symbol of human potential and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. The world watched as America prepared for its greatest test. People from all walks of life were glued to their televisions, eagerly following every development in the space race. The countdown to Apollo had begun. The stage was set for one of the most remarkable achievements in human history. In July 1969, Apollo 11 stood ready atop the mighty Saturn V rocket. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins embarked on humanity's boldest journey. 4 days later, Armstrong and Aldrin descended in the fragile Eagle lunar module. With seconds of fuel left, Armstrong landed safely. "Houston, Tranquility Base here, the Eagle has landed." Armstrong stepped onto the moon. "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." Over 600 million people watched as history unfolded. For a moment, the world was united in awe. The US had met Kennedy's challenge and won the space race. The footprints on the moon became a symbol of human ingenuity and courage. The impossible had become reality. After Apollo 11, the space race lost its urgency. The US landed on the moon 5 more times, but public interest and funding waned. The Soviets shifted focus to long-duration missions and space stations like Salyut and Mir. They pioneered living and working in space for months at a time. As Cold War tensions eased, cooperation replaced competition. In 1975, the Apollo-Soyuz mission saw American and Soviet crews shake hands in orbit, a powerful symbol of détente. The space race was over, partnership had begun. This collaboration paved the way for the Shuttle Mir program and the International Space Station. The ISS, built by over 15 nations, stands as a testament to what we can achieve together. The journey into space was now a shared human endeavor. The space race's legacy is everywhere, in technology, culture, and our view of Earth. Innovations like memory foam, water purification, and the computer mouse trace back to space research. The iconic Earthrise photo changed how we see our planet. One fragile home, no borders. The race inspired generations to pursue science and engineering, fueling decades of progress. It taught us that even the wildest dreams are possible with determination and unity. Today, space is a global pursuit, with new nations and private companies reaching for the stars. The foundation built during the space race makes Mars and beyond possible. What began as a rivalry ended in cooperation and inspiration. The space race transformed our world and showed us how to leave it. Our journey into the cosmos is just beginning.